Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts and minds be acceptable in your sight, O God. You are our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. This evening is the beginning of our observance of Lent, the season during which we prepare ourselves for the joy of Easter by remembering the story of Jesus and specifically how he suffered and died so that the human race might be saved from its sin and from the consequences of that sin. Lent is a time for Christians to examine our lives, to reflect on our own participation in the sin of the world, and to focus on the power of Jesus Christ to reclaim and to remake our lives into the wondrous blessings for ourselves and for others that God intends us to be. The mood of the season is quiet, contemplative, reflective, and perhaps the chief characteristic we are called upon to cultivate in ourselves during the Lenten season is humility. If you want to learn about the blessings of a humble spirit, about the strength there is to be found in humility, there's not much out in the popular marketplace that's very helpful. In a culture and in an age in which feeling good is the most important value, in which you'd better build yourself up and sell yourself or nobody else will, the idea of humility as a source of strength is not well received in that culture. And that is quite simply because bowing in humble submission before a just and merciful God seems somehow to have gone out of style. Now, if I'm going to talk about humility, I need first to make a disclaimer, a very important one, I believe. There is a world of difference between humility and humiliation. Humility is a posture that we assume for ourselves as an act of trust and of submission. Humiliation, on the other hand, is an assault on another person for the sake of degrading, embarrassing, or shaming them. And it is something that no Christian ought ever to be a part of. Humility has the potential of building mutuality in relationships. When we are appropriately humble in relation to others, it invites respect, trust, and intimacy. Humiliation, on the other hand, is always injurious. It robs the victim of dignity and kills self-esteem. How sad it is to see well-meaning parents humiliate their children in a misguided effort to teach them humility. Because when you humiliate another human being, they learn that they themselves are without worth and that other people are not to be trusted. Humiliation ultimately leads to rage and, I believe, to the destruction of the human spirit. We are called, as the people of Jesus Christ, instead to learn the lesson of humility from him and not at the hands of others. Jesus humbled himself. We know those words. Jesus humbled himself, and that is such an important point. He humbled himself so that we might see him as human, frail, and vulnerable. In short, like ourselves. And in seeing him in this way, we might then allow him to get close, to connect intimately with us. Jesus humbling himself was in no way a giving up of personal power. Listen to what he says in the Gospel of John. I'm reading from John 10, 11 through 18. I am the good shepherd. You know this one. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand, who is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep, sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and runs away. And the wolf snatches them and scatters them. The hired hand runs away because a hired hand does not care for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I lay down my life for the sheep. For this reason the Father loves me, because I lay down my life in order to take it up again. And here is one of the most important lines, I believe, in the whole entire Gospel of John. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down of my own accord. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it up again. This is our example of humility. Christ has willingly humbled himself even to the point of death on the cross, so that we might know of his love and his compassion for us, and so that knowledge might lift us up even as he was lifted up in the resurrection. You see, as long as we believe that we're self-sufficient, and that's what we're taught to strive for, self-sufficiency. But as long as we believe that we're self-sufficient, that we can solve all of our own problems, that we don't need anybody else's help, there is a barrier between us and the God who would give us real power. It is only when we find in ourselves the genuine humility to say, I need you, Lord, that we open the gate through which the Good Shepherd can come in and be by our side. When we humble ourselves before Christ, when we say, this is more than I can do without you, when we say, I am weak, I'm unable to stand, when we say, come and care for me, embrace me, strengthen me, empower me with your precious love, when we say these things in humility, then all the floodgates of heavenly blessing burst open, and we discover a power and a strength that we never before knew was available to us. So during this season of Lent, Jesus Christ has a simple but urgent message for us. You've heard it said that God speaks to us in many ways, some of them rather mysterious. I was eating lunch in a fast food place not too long ago, and an old Simon and Garfunkel tune. Who remembers Simon and Garfunkel? Okay. Who has been known to sing along with some of their tunes on the radio? Okay. If you're game, I may ask you to join me in a minute. But an old Simon and Garfunkel tune was playing on the radio. As I listened, and I'd heard it 100 times, but you know how sometimes you hear things for the 100th time, but you hear them for the first time? I thought to myself as I listened to that tune and as I quietly sang it, well, that's not true. I never quietly sing along when I'm alone in the car, but I was singing anyway. I thought to myself, this is what Jesus Christ wants us to know of him. On the recording, it was Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel singing, with me accompanying. But in my heart, the words echoed Jesus' own assurance to us. And I'll bet if I asked you, a half a dozen of you could name the song without any further prompting. If you know it, sing along. When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I'll dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down. And then a little bit later, when you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. When darkness comes, that's not the tune, and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down You want to go for the high notes? Like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay me down. You sound great. I can see a lot of lips moving. In humility, lay down your life before the one who laid down his own life for you. And he will be your bridge over troubled waters. He will lift you up, and he will carry you, and he will bring you safely to the other side. And he will give you all of the blessings that come with a life made new. Thanks be to God.